We recently took an amazing Northern Lights cruise to Norway on board the Caribbean Princess. We saw spectacular scenery and cities and the Northern Lights. We were north of the Arctic Circle for over 5 days and had an amazing trip. In this video, we're going to discuss the itinerary, viewing the Northern Lights, and our learnings. Hi y'all, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Becky.
And together we're a cruising good time.
We'd like to take a quick moment to say welcome and welcome back. In this video, we're going to tell you all about our cruise. We're going to tell you about the itinerary, the weather, the viewing of the Northern Lights. And at the end of this video, we will tell you about the pros and cons of the cruise and if we would do the cruise again. So we had planned this cruise for roughly 2 years. We'd done lots of research in selecting this specific one. And we did another video that talked about all the research we did and why we selected it. And we're going to leave a link to that in the comments below.
And if YouTube's behaving correctly, you should see a comment above it for the card to link to that same video. We chose this itinerary because we thought it was just fabulous. The itinerary had us sailing out of Southampton, England, had a couple days at sea, went to Trondheim, Norway, spectacular town, another day at sea, and then we crossed into Arctic Circle and we're going to stay at Tromsø for 1 day and then go over to the tender port of Alta for 2 days, still north of the Arctic Circle, then a day at sea down into the Lofoten Islands, still north of the Arctic Circle, so we're north of the Arctic Circle over 5 days total. Day at sea down at Alesund, spectacular town, and then 2 days at sea back to Southampton, England for a total of 2 weeks on a cruise. We just loved that itinerary and really looked forward to doing that, looking for the Northern Lights.
Absolutely. As frequently happens with cruises, a storm approaches and itineraries are changed. Yeah. So the captain decided we would stay 2 additional days in Tromso and not go to Alta. So Tromso is protected from the Arctic Ocean, north of the Arctic Circle, and just has amazing things to do.
I was really surprised there's that much to do in Tromso because we had the extra 2.5 days there and we got off ship every day of 3 days in a row, saw something different every single day. It was a lot of fun. So in this video, we'll provide you a high-level overview of each of the port of calls we went to on this cruise. And it's really exciting that our daughter had one of her friends come with us, and they did different shore excursions in just about every port. So we have a lot more perspective and on what all happens at each one of these ports to talk to you about. And look for some other videos coming out. We're going to release a detailed video on each one of these ports later on, or look for them right now in the playlists on our YouTube channel.
Our first stop was Trondheim. Trondheim is a gorgeous city. It's very accessible. It's very, very easy to get around. So Jeff and I took a tour that took us to an outdoor folk museum and Tromso Cathedral. Then we also did a walking tour through town through this very, very gorgeous city.
Yep. And
our daughter and her friend, now they, on the other hand, they went on a tour where they kayaked down the Nadelva River.
Yep.
And they actually went into the Trondheim Fjord where they had this floating sauna. And they could go in the sauna and then take a quick dip in the Trondheim Fjord.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Oh God.
Let's go. Cold.
And they had a fabulous time.
They really spoke very highly about that. And I really liked how you could just walk around Trondheim. We just walk through the town. Like you said, easy to get around in and easy to walk around in.
Yeah, and positively gorgeous. And the river through the city is fabulous. We had really enjoyed going across different bridges and getting that perspective. And the kayaking down it just sounded fabulous.
Our next stop was Tromsø, which is north of the Arctic Circle. And as Becky mentioned, we stayed there for 3 days because the Arctic storm kept us out of Alta. So we were safely berthed in Tromsø for 3 days. In that time, we saw a lot. The pier is about 3 or 4 miles north of the downtown area, and a big bridge that crosses from Tromso Island into the mainland part of Norway where there's Arctic Cathedral and some other sights to see. But Tromsø is really easy to get around in. There's a city bus that our daughter and her friend use to get all over the place. Taxis are very plentiful, and the cruise ship offered a shuttle bus back and forth downtown. So it was really easy to move around. Didn't really have to worry about transportation at all. While we're in Tromsø for 3 days, we saw a lot because we went to the Arctic Cathedral. We took the cable car to the top of the mountain. We went to the Tromso Museum, which is part of the university there in Tromsø. We went to the Polar Museum. We went to Polaria, which is an aquarium and Arctic experience. And I think it's the northernmost aquarium and maybe the only aquarium north of the Arctic Circle. We went to the Magic Ice Bar. That was a lot of fun. We had beer at the furthest north brewery on the planet. We went to the Tromso Cathedral. We went to the Sami Store, and that's where Becky got her necklace. And we went to a glass blowing gallery and workshop. There's a lot to do in Tromsø, and that didn't include the walking around and just sightseeing that we did on top of all that.
Our next stop was the Lofoten Islands, and they are so amazingly beautiful. Yeah. They're also really spread out, and the things to see are spread out. It takes a lot of planning to do your trip there. Now, we took a tour, which took us to see some amazing sights, take beautiful pictures, and go to this incredible Viking museum. It was very interactive, had fun things to do, engaging. We loved this tour. Mm-hmm. Our daughter and her friend, now, they rented a car. They drove to many different scenic locations, did some hikes, and took a quick swim in the Arctic Ocean. Everybody had a great time that day, and the fall foliage, everything there, just spectacularly gorgeous.
It's unbelievably gorgeous place. I was not expecting how pretty that is right there.
And since we were off season, normally this is known to be very crowded driving wise. It's one road. It frequently goes to one lane. It was much nicer being there in the off season.
Our last stop on the cruise was in Alesund, which is an absolutely beautiful city. A lot of people say it's the most beautiful city in Norway. We took an incredible cruise up a fjord that I'm not going to try to pronounce the name of, but we're going to put that name right here in the title below on the screen. And it was just a lot of fun to walk around. It was a beautiful town with all the Art Nouveau architecture, just to take in the ambiance. We finished off the day there with a quick lunch and getting a beer there at a local pub. We had a great time.
I feel like this video would not be complete unless we discuss the weather. So it's fall in Norway. The weather is going to change quite a bit. It's very, very important to dress in layers. Yep. There were days that we dressed for rain, sleet, and snow. And we really appreciated that we did this. We only saw the snow when we take the cable car up onto the top of the mountain. It was like a winter wonderland up there. We enjoyed walking around the snow. A few people stayed snowmen. And when we took our cruise on the fjord, it was cold and rainy, but we went outside, went on that top deck, just really enjoyed the scenery. And I was so thankful that I'd purchased a ridiculously long coat that was rain repellent, and with the hood, I could sit down out there on that top deck on the wet seat and just really enjoy the beautiful, beautiful cruise, which, by the way, was the most beautiful fall foliage I had seen in my life. It was just amazing, and it was all about, can you handle a little bit of weather and dress appropriately?
Yep.
So I would like to say, so although it sounds cold in the fall, we knew that the temperature should not be any colder than like 25 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 4 degrees C. Now, if we had waited for the winter months to go to Norway to see the Northern Lights, then the temperatures could have possibly gone down to as low as minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 20 degrees Celsius. So that was a better option for me.
A lot colder, yeah. We also enjoyed hot tubbing on a cruise ship and taking a quick swim in the swimming pools on a cruise ship. It's kind of fun to say you've been hot tubbing north of the Arctic Circle and in the Arctic Ocean. That was kind of fun for us. Our daughter went swimming, as we mentioned several times. She went swimming in the Trondheim Fjord on a kayak and sauna trip, and then actually went swimming in the Arctic Ocean in the Lofoten Islands. I'm not so sure to go in the winter months you're going to get that much swimming out there and all the natural water out there. But it's fun to say that she's done it anyway. Of course, the star of the entire cruise was the Northern Lights. And we learned so much about the Northern Lights on the solar activity, the cloud cover, the when to see them, light pollution, so on. And the best time to see them is between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. in the evenings. And we didn't have to spend every waking moment looking for the Northern Lights because the crew was really good about letting us know when they'd be visible. And so we'd hear the announcement and put on a jacket, throw on the shoes, run upstairs, go look at the Northern Lights. And we got some spectacular views of the Northern Lights. And so the announcements weren't always automatic into your room. We had to leave the TV on, the bridge camera channel on the TV, and turn up the volume loud enough for it wake you up if they made an announcement. But it would wake us up. We'd hear the announcement, and like I said, we'd go outside and spend a lot of time between 1 and 2 o'clock outside on the deck where it's quite chilly to watch the Northern Lights. It was a lot of fun.
The top deck of a cruise ship is designed with lots of lights for safety. One of our concerns for viewing Northern Lights aboard a ship would be, is there too much light pollution? However, Princess did typically dim those lights whenever the Northern Lights were out, so that really helped for the viewing of the lights. During our cruise, there was some amazing solar activity, and even in the U.S., they had some terrific viewing of the Northern Lights. However, on those particular evenings, there was a storm, there was a huge cloud cover, and we couldn't see the Northern Lights. So when you're planning your trip, there is just that unpredictable nature of weather on when you'll be able to see. However, we did get great viewing on other evenings. Each year, Princess has one cruise to Norway to see Northern Lights. It'll be close to the time of the fall equinox. Jeff, would you consider taking another one of these cruises?
Absolutely, in a heartbeat, I'd take another one. Even though that Arctic storm clouded us out and kept us out of Alta, I would do it again because weather's unpredictable. But the whole cruise, the scenery, the changing of leaves is all wonderful. And it's the right time of year to go because you're right there by the equinox, so that makes for a good viewing of the Northern Lights. And we're near a solar maximum, so we had a lot of good solar activity. Really make for some good, spectacular views. Becky, what are your thoughts about taking a cruise to Norway during the fall equinox?
Jeff. So when we first selected it, I was a little bit nervous because September and October are low seasons. And some of the really interesting things, like seeing things with regards to Sami or different activities involving reindeer, they aren't available in September and October. However, we did so many incredible things. I don't know what else I could have fit into my day. So I didn't really, I'm not disheartened that we weren't able to do those things. Norway is so incredibly beautiful. I so enjoyed the waterfalls and the fjords and the fall foliage. In fact, the fall foliage we saw there was more beautiful than the fall foliage I'd seen in the Changing of the Leaves tour that I've taken in New England. It was amazing. I would highly recommend going to Norway during the equinox. So I loved going to Norway this time of year and just highly, highly recommend it. If I were to do this cruise again in Alta, I would take a private shore excursion where you chase the Northern Lights. The experts can really help you get to the right places and avoid cloud cover, etc. And I would pay that extra money to take one of these small private tours.
Please leave us a comment and let us know about your favorite thing you've done in Norway. We'd love to hear from you.
We hope you've enjoyed this video.
Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. It really helps us out.
Until next time, have a cruising good time.